Hello YouTube, Marielle here. Today I would like to talk about a rather difficult subject, and this is something I have been trying to prepare myself to talk about for almost a month, and probably even more. It's been in my head and I've been trying to figure out how to broach the subject and not feel too exposed, I guess, but I guess there is no real way around it. And but I felt encouraged to come here and talk about it thanks to a video that I just two days ago I came across on YouTube from Light of Knowledge, and the video itself talks about narcissists' sexual demons. And I suppose seeing that sort of completed the puzzle piece I probably have been searching for without quite realizing it. I guess I've been looking for ways to put everything together, even in my own head for myself. I was missing pieces, and this video helped me complete that puzzle for me, and in my case, in my life, because it really resonates deeply for me. The subject I would like to cover today is to try to explain some of the uncertain feelings that used to grip me during and after being intimate with my narcissistic husband, sociopathic husband, psychopathic husband, narcopathic husband. A woof. You can give him just about any name. It fits. It just fits. But first, let me just set this up to give you a little background, really. Again, for those of you who have not seen any of my other videos, I met my husband when I was 19, and that I only had 2 previous sexual encounters before him. And so I was, you could say I just wasn't mature, and I was new to the whole thing, really, on every level. And one of the things that right from the bat, right from our first encounter, one of the things that he very much kind of imposed on me, really, was oral sex, and it was constant, and and it's difficult to explain, because as much as it was pleasurable, it felt like it wasn't something I had a choice in, or I had a voice, or it felt very much like it was thrusted upon me, and I was gonna like it no matter what, and I had to grow to like it. It just didn't feel there was just something about it that just didn't quite feel right at the time. Throughout our years together, I could feel, most of everything always I always felt things on 2 to 3 different kind of level. There was the fact of what I was seeing, that I had no choice with, the understanding that, this is something that he does because he loves me, and I think that means that he loves me. but inside it was never quite the same. Now I think it's a gut feeling, but I wasn't thinking it was gut feeling. It was just a feeling that I constantly had, that it just wasn't matching what my brain was explaining me of what I was seeing. You know, it just didn't feel nurturing. His sexual approach with me, being a young girl, was just never felt nurturing. He never really took the time to nurture either my sexuality or my sensuality. The only problem is that I could not address it because I wasn't mature. And back then I wasn't mature like most of those kids these days. They know everything, and they know what they want, and they know what to ask, and they know how to get upset, and they know how to demand. It's just I wasn't like that. So I just did not have the words for what I was experiencing, but I certainly felt very deeply that something wasn't quite right in the way we were connecting on that level. But I just had no way of questioning what was happening. And also because it's so personal, it's so intimate, you just don't go and start asking questions and telling people about it. And especially since it was not done with any kind of overt aggressivity or violence, there was nothing to complain about. And again, this is an example of this is what such a situation can be so confusing for other people who can come to this channel and listen to me and listen to what I'm saying and think, what the hell is wrong with this woman? What is she complaining about? Is she truly complaining about getting oral sex? Really? Truly? Is there something wrong with her? And I will understand that. But with the kind of people that we're dealing with, those thinly layered and multi-layered abuse are just so pervasive and so into everything. It can get extremely frustrating for anyone in a similar position as me to come forward and try to explain this. It's difficult enough even to gather all of those memories and stuff that happened so long ago under so many different ways to try to make sense of it for our own head, in our own mind, to come here and explain it. So it's very, very frustrating, and as normal as it may seem, this forced upon, because that's exactly what it was. I really felt like he was forcing it on me. He was forcing oral sex on me. This wasn't an altruistic, loving and nurturing action, because now that I know that he is a narcopath, I can see the layers of abuse in that intimate part of our life. Understand that first, he always ignored me, and even ran away from me when I used to make or try to make any kind of sexual advances towards him. And now I understand that he acted that way, he reacted that way towards me, simply because he preferred me to be an unwilling participant during our intimate times. And then what's absolutely mental is that he would then gaslight me by trying to make me feel guilty, like I wasn't meeting his needs, that I was selfish, or that I just wasn't up to par, you know, and I was making him miserable. I mean, you know. And the second part as well is oral sex. I now understand that oral sex was the quickest way for him to groom me, to give him really what he wanted. It was never about nurturing me nurturing me into my own femininity or womanhood. And the other sub layer of or the flip coin of this grooming tactic into forcing me to enjoy something and to become dependent on this is that now he can use it now as a form of punishment, by trying to deprive me of it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So between us, the only thing is that he never quite understood, just he never really understood that I really truly didn't care. This is something I as a loving partner, as his wife, as a nurturing person, this is something I accepted to put up with, really, I thought, for his benefit. And yes, it was for his benefit, but it's not something I depend on. So he doesn't know that. He thinks he's punishing me, but actually it just doesn't matter to me at all, like at all. For a very long time, during during those intimate times, once the newness of becoming sexually active, once that newness kind of wore off, I always felt like it was very much sex and not love making. I instinctively always felt that way, and I had a hard time trying to convince myself otherwise. And I even, said that to him a few times. I would use very pejorative terms to refer to that to us getting intimate. I never used kind words, and he would always go and say to me, "Oh no, not at all. Oh gosh, don't call it like that. Well, making love, this is love making," but it never felt like that to me. And now I know I was right. I know I know I was right. And this is really sad, actually. I'm laughing because some of the stuff, I mean, unless I spend my time booing and crying over here, it's just funny. There is a funny side to it, I guess. Anyway. And now what I understand is that, and especially since seeing that video from Knowledge, what did I say? I'll put a link below. And since seeing that video, I realized just how much sex is just another narcissistic supply for those people. And it's a narcissistic supply on a different of a different kind and on a different level as well. I say this because the level, because of the level of enjoyment he seemed to derive from my tense body or corpse-like disinterested behavior, or any kind of rebellious affectation I would adopt sometimes. And there was nothing normal about that. looking back on it, there's just nothing normal about it at all. And one of the weird things, weird way I would feel after such intimate times, I would feel just like I have been emptied, drained, and a lot of time on the verge of tears, really. It really felt like my soul, have been literally dragged out of me, and sometimes it'll take me days to feel like myself again. It was so weird, and I could not explain any of this to myself. I could just make no sense of any of this, and he's been my only partner. I had nothing to compare it with, and during the time as well, this crucial time when I isolated myself, I had nobody to ask those kind of personal and intimate questions to. And even if I had the opportunity, I don't think I would have felt comfortable asking and saying it. And if I had asked, I'm sure I would have found a way to cover it or sugarcoat it or do something to protect myself, or to pretend to, something that just wasn't there. I don't know. It's just way too complicated and way too shameful as well. But one of the things that the closest way I can maybe try to get some of the people who are watching this video to help them understand what I'm referring to here. And one of the things that I would also share with you here is that that over the last 2 years, his interest in me has severely declined, and this is since my own body has finally reached its sexual maturity, and also because I am more vocal and I am more able to ask what I want, and basically to demand. And since then, his interest in me has basically just went and that alone says a lot about who he is and what his intentions were with me right from the beginning. I mean, this says a lot, and there's just no way around it. Now that I know that, now that I understand, and I'm able to put all of those pieces together, it's like, oh my God. And it's even more horrifying to realize that there isn't a single corner of the 24 years that we have shared that hasn't been a lie, a ruse, or a preparation for a future narcissistic supply for him. Understand that it gives me no pleasure to expose my life in such a way, but it's the only way that I have to contribute to gathering knowledge on this phenomenon, and so that people like my wolf, who is a narcissist, a covert emotional abuser, passive aggressive, an antisocial, and everything else that you can think of, and I'm pretty sure he's totally a psychopath. It's the only way that people like him can be hopefully exposed one day and be faced with having to change their spots, change who they are, or hide even deeper, and basically change for the good, or appear to really change properly for the good, or starve. I hope they can all starve, because a lot of us will be much more aware and have more knowledge and be more proactive in protecting ourselves against them. Thank you.